The devil's work is almost done. I'm not really sure what I'm looking for in posting this. Tomorrow is my mediation day, and I'm a little numb and restless. I, 43 male, have been married to my soon-to-be ex-wife, 41 female, for 19 years, together 25 years. We met in high school. I found it on October, the day before our 19th anniversary. She had at least an emotional affair, but I also believe she also had a physical affair, but she would not admit it with the current guy. She said they only kissed. Yeah, right. She told me she loved him. He is married with 2 kids. And then she said, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. But on the same day, she admitted to a physical affair with a different man 12 years ago. The basics to the story is she pretended to try and work it out and eventually asked for divorce. It's so much more messier than this, and I may tell the whole story someday. I just don't have the energy tonight. She moved out in January, and my girls 10-year-old and 15-year-old have lived with her at her parents' house, and my son, 16-year-old, lives with me. I see my girls often and try to talk to them every day. My son has become so much closer to me. I love them all so much, and I hate that this has happened to them as well. Maybe I'm looking for encouraging words. Wisdom. I have prayed a lot about this, and then again, maybe not enough. I know she has at least told her family lies about me, but they also know some of the truth. It's weird to be a part of a family, and then all of a sudden, you're a stranger. Here is something I wrote to her last night, but I won't send it because I know it would mean nothing to her. The devil's work is almost done. I'm mad, sad, that all 3 of our kids are in therapy. I'm mad, sad, that you are the other woman. You have destroyed more than our marriage. Our kids are forever changed because of your actions. I worry how well this will affect their future relationships. You have destroyed other families and that makes me sick. How and why would you choose to be the other woman? It's disgusting and I know you know it's wrong. You are one of the most selfish people I know. You didn't just make a one-time mistake. You chose to do this over and over. And even after being confronted, you choose evil. That relationship is from the devil. This could hurt your soul. You will never be able to be in a relationship where you are not an adulteress. As far as I know, you are still with your affair partner. You both have started a relationship built on a lie. One of you will cheat on the other. And if not, I'm sure it will be miserable if you have a conscience. I know for a fact that he has already questioned what he has done and tried to go back to his wife. But I say to you that everyone who divorces his wife, except on the ground of sexual immorality, makes her commit adultery, and whoever married a divorced woman commits adultery. Matthew chapter 532. He said to them, because of your hardness of heart Moses allowed you to divorce your wives, but from the beginning, it was not so. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife, except for sexual immorality, and marries another commits adultery. Matthew chapter 19 8-9. You lied for so long. It is hard to tell what was ever true. Is this who you were all along? And I didn't know it, or did you change? I do believe you did me a favor forcing the divorce. You made the statement that maybe you don't deserve me. Maybe that is true. But if you didn't force this, I would have kept trying to love you and save our marriage. How do you not feel remorse or shame or guilt? How do you sleep at night knowing what evil you have done? You said at one point you were praying and talking to God, but if there is no change, is there really any sorrow or repentance? I know that it is between you and God, but it is one more thing I don't understand. How do you sit in church and not feel guilt or shame? How did you sit with me and our family and not feel shame and guilt? You are not too far gone. You can still be saved. I don't mean we can have a relationship, especially now, but you can repent and return to God. I believe that would mean putting away that selfish person you have become. I have said in the past, you are a good mother. I believe I lied to you. A good mother would not have done this to her family. You are a selfish person who just loves herself. Maybe you care about the children, but because of how it makes you look to the world. I know how much you care about your image. As for me, I haven't tried hating you, but it does no good. I really could have come after you. I mean, your career. You always cared about that more. But I decided that time will take care of everything. I don't need to hurt you because you are broken. I'm sure there has to be a lot of pain to do things you have done. In some ways, I pity you. I'm saying my last goodbyes and releasing you. Our first reaction comes from Bandsaw Bill. Hang in there. Stay strong for you and your children. It's going to be a long, tough ride, but you will get through this, and so will your kids. I wouldn't bother sending what you have written. And to be brutally honest, at this stage, I wouldn't bother trying to appeal to her about her nature. She is in the fog. She is oblivious to the pain and heartache she is causing others by her actions, and she feels justified in pursuing happiness in the bed of another man. Unfortunately, cheaters do it this way. Rather than call an end to one relationship before embarking on another, they prefer to sneak around and lie instead of just calling it a draw in their marriage. At first, I tried to beg, plead, and reason with my wife. She couldn't care less. The woman I married was a stranger to me, saying brutally hurtful things, lying to me, lying to others about me, all to make herself feel better and try to justify her actions to self. Eventually, I sought advice and help, and I performed with the 180. I made myself less available, cared less about what's said or did. Well, I gave the appearance that I cared less. I basically stopped behaving like she was my wife, and more like she was a lodger in the house. I also didn't hide the fact that she was cheating. It wasn't my dirty secret to keep, and the shame wasn't mine to bear. And to be fair, she had been lying about me to all of her family and friends, so I stopped caring about her image. The 180 worked well because over time, I actually did start caring less and did start making time for myself and caring for myself. And my wife's affair broke down. I like to think that I helped speed up that process by phoning her affair partner and telling him that he can have her by this point. I simply didn't care enough to worry about her. Personally, I think I took too long to seek help. I didn't know where to turn, and I was so ashamed and embarrassed and hurt. As a result of seeing the woman I loved treatment and my children so badly, I now have no time for love and romance. I have been left a very bitter, old man and could never imagine giving my heart and soul to another person, as I have been to the bottom of a very dark place and the scars will never heal, and even now the pain is raw. The op responds, "I'm sorry you went through this too. I did the same thing. This time, I did the pick-me dance." I tried to reason with her. I called the fair partner and told him to back off and has her to lead him from everything. I set up marriage counseling and individual counseling. Looking back, was I dumb? Or, at least I feel that way. I know I can sleep with a clear conscience at night. Thank you for your kind words. Maybe with time and healing, you can find love again. I do have one friend who went through this, and he was done with women. We started hanging out and the right woman under his conditions came along. It took 5 years to get there, but he is happy. I wish you the best. Time for an update. Last week, my ex-wife, her dad showed up too, and I worked out a settlement agreement in mediation. It took all day, but we got it done. Basically, since we all agreed it's over, only one party has to prove it up to the judge. I was nice that day and let the girl stay with her because she had family that came into town. We switched to days, trying to extend the olive branch. I believe she has messaged me every day since then for some reason. I ignored most of it because it wasn't about the kids. Thursday night, my mom took a fall and broke her hip and leg. My poor mom is a saint too. She has dedicated her life to her family and especially my older sister who is mentally handicapped. Friday was prove update, and I have more than the divorce on my mind. It goes quickly with me and my lawyer as the only ones to attend. Remember, we have already agreed on everything. So this is basic info for the courts to accept what everyone has signed and agreed. I got my girls because this is my day I get back for last week's exchange date. My ex-wife is messaging me about something, and I replied in a snarky way. Congratulations on getting the divorce she wanted. She cheated on me. She messaged back and said she hasn't seen any paperwork, so hold off. I told her I went before the judge today. So as of June 11, 2021, we are divorced. Her messaging stops. I don't know why, because I thought she would be happy because this is what she wanted. I go to cook dinner with my middle child, and I get a call from my ex-father-in-law asking me to come out and talk to him. We haven't spoken in weeks. I see him at my kids' games and when I pick up and drop off the kids, but we don't speak. He just stares at me. I just assume he has been lied to and is going to believe whatever his daughter tells him. I got my old phone and turned the recorder on because this isn't normal. I walked out and he is sitting in my driveway in his truck. I walked around to the driver's side, and he doesn't get out. He just has his window rolled down. He said, "How do you go before the judge without her?" I said, "David, this isn't about you. He was there last week under my protest too. I didn't marry you, and I'm not divorcing you, so I'm not having this conversation with you." I should have gone inside at this point. If she wants to talk, I'll do it with her, but stay out of this. He said, "You will tell me." I pointed my finger at him to make my point that much cleaner, and he swatted at me. And he said, "Don't you point at me? It's my house and I'll point wherever I want." I know this is a dumb argument. I told him his daughter is an adulterous woman who has been sleeping with a married man. He called me a liar. I said she has slept with more than one married man and destroyed family. He acted surprised at first and then asked, "How would I know?" I said I've seen the bills and records. Plus, I talked to the cheater's ex-wife. He goes to the point that he doesn't care about the cheating, says I spent all the money. She got $1,000 just today. And he would have cheated too if he had to live with me. He said he knows everything. I said, I guess not. If you don't know about her having affairs with married men, his other 2 daughters have done the same. I asked how it felt raising 3 adult truces. That his enabling is part of the problem. What would his own dad think? His dad is a very righteous man. He raised Beep. Okay. I was really mad, but maybe I crossed the line. He reaches out and punched me in the arm. I defend myself and hit back. I tell him to stop. I don't want to fight this old man. He starts yelling about the judge again. I explained the process, and he is still mad, saying their attorney didn't tell them anything. Not my fault. He starts saying I'm crazy, and my son, his grandson, will be just like me. I said he will be a good man, and I hope he doesn't marry a Beep. He backs out and keeps saying this isn't over. He revs his engine, and I think he's about to run over me. I move near our solid and ground basketball goal. I don't know how much this will stop it, but it's all I had. Thank goodness he finally leaves. I call the cops and they take a report, but I decided not to press charges right now. I have 2 years to act on it. The police went and spoke to my ex and her sister. She is crazy too. She could be her own post. Her dad happened to not be home at the time. The sister actually came to my house while I was talking to the police. I finally came back inside, and my girls were waiting on me. I had to fill them in a little because I believe one of them saw police. It was almost 10, so they decided to go to bed. Kinda sad way to end the day. Gave hugs and told them I love them and I will keep them safe. I'm not sure what this is not over really means, but I guess he, ex-father-in-law, has something planned. Who knows what he is thinking? Hope this craziness made sense. I'll keep hoping things will get better from here. Our first reaction comes from the Mockingbird. Press charges. He has a vendetta against you, and the man's irrational. If you want to play peacemaker, you could reach out to your ex and have her keep her dad in control. But given the context, I doubted it do much. Press charges and cover your back. Trigazer 1 says, the father will always take the daughter's side even when they F up. Only the good ones will disown their daughter when they find out when they've cheated. My ex's father would have been like that too, always on her side, regardless of anything.